Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, you guys. It's about time to get on your pre-ski season conditioning, right? Kevin Rail is joining us from Silver Mountain Sports Club and Spa. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
A pleasure to have you here. I brought on my co-host Joe.
I love that you said you brought on your co-host Joe. For a minute there, I thought you were going to say I brought on my demonstration dummy Joe.
I brought on my demo man here to help
Station
me.
stunt man Joe Davis.
Full disclosure, I'm doing some physical therapy on my knee. So I just want to make sure that we get to demonstrate all this. I'll try and take part in some of these things. We'll see how this goes. But that's part of why it's so valuable to have a trainer or someone like you to help us so that we can make sure we're doing things the right way that are tuned to your needs. Okay, so before we launch into some things that you're going to share with us on how to get prepped for ski season, you have a lot of titles, to say the least. One of them being the special ops director of the Lean Berets.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, what is that, first of all?
Well, I have a side project I do with a friend of mine out in California, Ron Jones. He's an exercise specialist as well as I am. And we're basically just two gunslinging dudes who created this organization about a decade ago. And we try to educate the public on old historical exercise patterns and things that are really cool in the nutrition field too. Such as, for example, you were just talking about the sulfites and the garbage that are in the processed meats and the hot dogs. And
yeah, not good for you.
I'm so beyond that, it's not even funny. We've been talking about that stuff for years. And
you're like, I already knew that, forever ago.
That's old news. That's passe. All that stuff causes cancer. I've been eating that stuff for years, and I think you should avoid it too. You're talking about the bacon.
Yeah.
You can always get organic bacon. There's always a healthy alternative out there.
It's a choice.
Okay.
Exactly. So one of the things we do is we educate people, and I tell people I have yet to be fooled on any kind of food or product that I can't find a healthy alternative to. I have that going for 10 plus years now, and that's one of the things I do at Lean Berets headquarters is I challenge people to bring me something, such as bacon or hot dogs or meat or bread or anything like that, and I can always find a healthy alternative that's better than the average, always. Whether it's a candy bar, soda, you name it, I got it down.
I believe you.
Yeah.
All right.
You do. But I feel motivated already. This is great.
See, you feel like you lose weight?
He said he makes you lose weight by just talking to you.
I really am. I do.
believe it.
Okay, what else do we need to know about your background? Because you had a lot of letters tied to your name where I was like, that's why we're bringing him here, because he knows what he's doing. Tell me a little bit about that.
Let's just get right to the class I do, the six-pack challenge. So when you hear the word six-pack challenge, your mind automatically thinks, oh, I'm going to get a six-pack in 6 weeks. That's fantasy. It's just not happening.
Sure.
Right? So I believe in trying to, over the long term, build a lean, muscular body and try to get to the point where you have a six-pack. Because if you use the word six-pack in your brain, it's going to be a motivator to get you there all the time. Like, oh, I want to get a six-pack. I want to get a six-pack. It doesn't happen overnight. However, what you can do is create a wonderful, well-shaped, lean, fit body that's going to make you better at all the stuff you do outside the gym. And as a benefit to that, there's going to be a lot of core work involved, which is going to help define your stomach too. So it's kind of like this big and all-encompassing thing.
Yeah.
And I want to try to make people more fit. I want to make them more lean, have better balance, have better functional ability with all the stuff they do outside the gym. Because I could care less about three sets of 10 of bench presses. Who cares?
Right.
And that's just brainless. You don't even need me for that. But what you do need to learn are complex movement patterns with the left and right arm and left and right hemispheres of the brain working all at the same time. That kind of stuff not only improves your balance and your physical ability, but your brain function too. It elicits a lot of brain matter. Wow. More than like crossword puzzles and all this garbage you do on computers.
All right.
All that does is give you bad posture, make you lean forward.
Okay, no more crossword puzzles for us, Joe. Okay, let's get to it.
Feeling serious
You're
now.
right. Okay.
Let's do it.
Well, yeah, let's get to it with
All
some
right.
of these exercises that you're going to teach us. Just some pretty, I don't know if they're basic. I was going to say basic. But stuff that you can do on a stage, so you can clearly do them at home too. What's the first thing you're going to share with us?
So I'm just going to show you a single leg walk down with push-up. Okay, so this engages a couple different subsystems. You have to think about the hand placement. The way your hands are moving, you got to do a little bit of upper body, a little bit of lower body.
Okay.
Plus you're working balance at the same time, and of course the core is going to be engaged.
Okay.
So you're pretty much guaranteed a lot of core work in my class, which is really important, not just for skiing, but taking groceries like this and putting them up on a shelf, or putting a baby in a chair, pushing a swing, climbing ladders, all these different things.
All right.
So I make sure that when people come to the class, they're going to get strengthened from all different levels, so they're going to be excelling at everything they do outside of the gym.
Excellent.
Okay. So single leg hand walk.
Okay.
You ready, Joe?
Yep, absolutely. Let's do
So
it.
This one with you, I can manage this.
Okay. Which is your good knee?
This is the good one.
Okay, stand on that foot, right foot. So we're going to lift the left foot in here like this.
Okay.
Now we're going to lift our arms in here like this, like we're doing some kind of yoga pose. And we're
Already
going
in
to bend
trouble.
this knee, we're going to come down to the ground, we're going to put our hands on the ground, we're going to walk forward. Now we're going to form a straight line from the back of our head to our heel. We're going to keep our elbows in tight by our sides, we're going to do a push-up. Touch your chin to the floor, push back up. And then we're going to walk right back up.
On my one
And then we're going to stand all the way up again with our arms in the air. Then we're going to switch feet.
That's a good one.
Well, that is a good one.
Then you're just going to switch feet and go right back down again.
Okay.
So usually I'll do a series of those with a balanced amount on the right and left side of the body.
Good work, Joe.
Yeah. So
Okay, keep your elbows in tight by your rib cage here.
okay.
That's it.
Elbows in tight.
Yes, that's a classical push-up. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
way push-ups should be done.
That's
right there.
better.
Joe. Oh yeah.
That's a manly
Oh,
push-up.
yeah.
That is better.
Okay, so if you did 10 of those in a row, 5 with each leg.
10.
First thing in the morning when you jump out of
Two.
bed.
I can do a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a simple little 2-minute drill you can do first thing in the morning when you jump out of bed.
Okay.
It's going to pretty much activate every subsystem in the body, plus it's going to burn a little bit of calories and get your brain function working.
I like that.
You know what
So,
my issue here
I can do that.
I need to make myself even get up. Like, I skip breakfast, which is another bad thing.
That's a
so
bad
I can
thing,
get
yes.
an extra 5 minutes of sleep. That's how bad I am. So I need to really be motivated.
Yeah.
No, I like this. I can do that in the mornings.
So we have the
cool.
stand-up push-up. That's what it's called, right?
Single leg hand walk.
leg.
Single leg hand walk push-up.
Okay.
That one. Okay,
I like
what's
that.
The next one we
That was
gotta
good.
The next one we're going to do is a push-up and log roll. So this is where we're going to get a little bit of, did you remember the vestibular awareness I was telling you about in there, an email?
Kind of.
Vestibular
whenever-
awareness, keeping your body, your ears knowing where your body is
Exactly.
In 3-dimensional space.
Exactly.
Okay.
You got it, man.
Thanks.
Good. You've been doing your homework. Okay, so this is going to
Fine, Joe.
improve your vestibular awareness as well as a bunch of different subsystems. So we're going to do a push-up. I'm going to need a little space for this one.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of things that are kind of lateral, too, moving side to side.
Okay.
So let me just give a quick demo,
demo.
and then Joe's going to come down and do it for
Okay.
us.
Okay.
So we're going to start in our
Here.
plank position. We're going to do a perfect push-up.
Oh, yeah.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to extend our arm above our head like this, and we're going to roll right
Right.
over to this side,
Okay.
do another push-up. Now we're going to keep our legs straight, walk back up to here, touch our toes, then we're going to stand back up. Then we're going to walk back down, do a push-up, and go back to where we started from. Now we're going to keep our legs straight again, walk back up, touch our toes, stand back up.
Okay. I can't do
So-
the touch your toes part.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to try
I'm not quite there.
He's like, I'm trying. You
Okay,
can do
so
it, Joe. You can do it. I need some cheering. You can do
You
it.
can do it. You got it.
You can do it.
That's good. Keep
Okay,
your
now,
hips
just
up
over?
nice and high.
Okay.
Kick this leg over. Okay, another push-up.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I didn't have my arms in.
Try to keep your legs as straight. There you go.
Okay.
Keep your legs as
Walk
straight
it
as you
up.
can. Walk
Walk
up.
it up, Joe. Walk it up. Yeah.
All right, you don't have to go back.
Good work.
So let me just explain something.
Yeah, right?
Good job. All right, so the reason I have him keep his legs straight on that backwards walk
Yeah.
is because everyone I know in this entire town,
Okay.
in my whole old hometown of Pennsylvania, has tight hamstrings,
Okay.
especially people who
Oh,
sit.
yeah.
So you know what that
for
means?
sure.
You're predisposed to lower back pain.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I improve hamstring flexibility in my program as well.
Awesome.
Also really good for skiers and snowboarders because they usually have perennial tight hamstrings. Bikers, that's why I say everyone in this town, because we're all active out here. And we do those events where we go for hours and hours on end and we don't think about stretching afterward. So
That makes
I force
sense.
people to stretch. I just build it right
Well,
in.
yeah, that's good because I definitely have had
Tight hands?
that. Yeah, and it hurts
Yes.
down in my heel.
Yeah.
I feel a little tension back here. And my back starts to hurt.
Yep, there you
It
go.
all kind of happens together.
Yeah.
A little bit after. It's sort of in a series of things.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
progressive.
Yep. Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
next up, neurological load. Movements that involve cross-body patterns.
Okay, so crawling.
Okay.
Let's just start with that. I love to crawl. And it is it's a lost art in my opinion. They used to use it, it's like a primitive movement pattern they would do years and years ago. Crawling through the bushes, kind of like sneaking up on your prey and everything. It actually doubles as a really good exercise, and it's really intense, and it's very low impact too.
Okay.
And people are always like running on treadmills and riding bikes and doing all these things and trying to get the heart rate up. All I ask is if you can crawl back and forth through a room about 40 yards and back. If you go to the turf in the gym,
Yeah.
crawl down and
Good
back.
spot to do it.
Trust me, you're going to know it. Every single muscle
Okay.
in your body is going to be feeling it. We're going to crawl across the stage and back.
Are we?
We're going to
Okay.
go forward and backwards, and I'm going to show you how to do it.
Okay.
So
Let's
we're
see
going to
that.
come onto our hands and knees.
Okay.
Make sure your knees are under your hips and your hands
All
are
right.
under your shoulders. Now what we're going to do is lift our knees off the ground. See
You
how
want
my
me to do
knees
this
are up?
beside you? Does that work?
Yeah, you can do it beside
Okay.
me. Let me move over.
All right.
Okay, so our knees are off the ground.
Okay.
See this?
Yep.
Now what we're going to do is move our right hand and left foot at the same time.
Right hand,
like
left
this.
foot. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. Left, right. And we're going to keep our knees nice and low. Keep your back
Knees low.
Knees low, right above the ground. 90-degree bend in your knees. Okay, now we're going to go backwards.
Okay.
Ready? Opposite hand, opposite foot at the same time.
opposite hand, opposite foot.
Yep. Opposite hand, opposite foot.
It's hard to do it together.
Exactly.
Let's see. Yeah, I got confused.
There you go.
Not
Okay.
quite.
So that's an example of the the left and right hemisphere brain activity because you're doing the opposite hand and foot at the same time.
Right.
So that creates a lot of neurological load in the brain. So you have to think
that's
about
what you're talking about, thinking and doing at the same time.
Exactly.
Well, so my question with that, because you say that's like low impact, so for someone like me that's like doing physical therapy with a knee issue, is that something obviously that you need to know individually if that works for you?
Yes.
Or is that low impact on the knees? Because I couldn't quite tell.
It's low impact.
Overall.
Your quadriceps are working really hard in that exercise we just did right there. So it's actually beneficial for an injury like that because it strengthens the muscles that surround the knee joint. Now, box jumps are never going to be advised. You never have to worry about that because I never do box jumps. I've never done them in my life.
Yeah, that's serious load, especially that landing part.
Yes.
All right. Well, next up, kettlebells. So tell us. We don't have any with us, but let's talk about a little bit of.
I could have brought one.
I know. Dang it, Joe. We could have had you do
I
this.
was thinking. I wouldn't just hand him a kettlebell though. So kettlebells are an integral part of my program because of a number of reasons. They're always activating the core, no matter what you're doing. If it's a swing, if it's a high pull, if it's a squat, if it's a lunge, you always have to contract like various areas of the body. The quads, glutes, abs, and lats, which are these muscles here, are always being contracted. So when you're doing a swing, you pop your hips forward and you contract all these areas at the same time with every single rep. So if you're doing like 20 swings, you're basically doing 20 ab contractions from a standing position instead of lying on your back and doing stupid crunches.
Really?
Yes. But your heart
I
rate
love that you said stupid crunches because I never felt like that did anything for me.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Okay.
So
I like that.
From a standing position, you're getting all this massive ab work and whole core work too, as well as your quads and your back and everything. Plus, you're burning a ton of calories because it's a ballistic movement, so your heart rate goes to the roof.
Is that because they're not because of the form of the kettlebell?
Exactly.
They're not stable. You have to. You're constantly moving around to stabilize them.
Yes, because the center of gravity is off. It's out kind of in front of you.
I like
you have that
that
curved handle.
Okay.
So even though we don't have one with us, kind of demonstrate the motion that you would do.
So it's a hip hinge. Okay. So what you're going to do is you grab your kettlebell like this, and you throw it back between your legs, and you pop your hips forward like that. And when you do a hip hinge, so can you just turn sideways?
Yeah, sure. It's not a good look, but I can do it.
So right here, so push your hips back more and keep your shoulders.
Hips back more.
So look.
Okay.
Do this. Stand up. So just push your hips back like this.
Oh.
Reach backwards.
Okay.
There. Okay. So this is it's not quite a 45-degree angle, but you want to have your shins vertical to the ground. And you want to have your femurs angled this way. So a squat occurs when your thighs are parallel to the ground.
Oh boy. Yeah.
This is more like a deadlift mechanics. So you're doing a hip hinge, so you're pushing your hips back like this, and you want to keep your shoulders up. So your kettlebell goes behind you, and then you pop your hips forward, and then you're going to contract your lats, which are these muscles, your glutes, your quads, and your abs all at the same time.
How high do your arms go?
Your arms should only go about this high.
They are straight, okay.
Yeah.
All right. How many of those, what kind of reps are we looking at here?
Well, I do a progression usually in the class.
Okay.
I'll do like 3 or 4 rounds of a particular set of exercises, and each time I increase the reps when people start getting more warmed up and get a sweat going. So we end up doing possibly 20.
Yeah, Joe's feeling it.
I'm ready to keep
All right,
going.
So how do we get Joe in one of these classes then? So next time you come, he can maybe show Kevin up. I don't know.
No, that'll never happen.
That'll never happen. It's okay, Joe, to admit that up.
No, I might make him proud though.
You can show me up probably, but other than that. Okay, well let's talk about how we can get involved in and what you're doing.
So the 6-pack challenge, the next one I'm doing starts next Wednesday, November 4th, is it? 4th, I believe.
I think so.
So I got 3 time slots, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., which is now all of a sudden a hot time slot, and 9 a.m. in the morning. You can call Silver Mountain to sign up. You can get in contact with me. Just look me up on Facebook or what's that other one called? Twitter. Yep. I'm out there. It's going to be 6 weeks long. It's $199 for the entire program. I also do a lot of nutritional counseling as well. I'm possibly going to organize a shopping tour this time around even too.
That would be a good idea.
Fantastic
People don't know what to buy at the store.
Yeah. I've been trying to get that in the works in a while because I'm a big, I like to do food tours and stuff like that because people need to know, as you're both probably well aware, 90% of it is diet. If you don't eat right, you got nothing.
Yeah.
But if you eat perfectly, I mean, you can do 20 minutes exercise a day and just be fine. So it always comes down to what you eat and drink more than anything else.
That's incredible. All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Nice to have you here this morning.
It's really good stuff. Thank you.
A lot.
Appreciate
I
you.
especially. Okay, what's the full name of the stand-up push-up thing again?
Single leg hand walk push-up.
Okay, single leg hand walk. Got it. That's what I'm going to try. You got it, Joe. Maybe kind of a little bit more work there, but we're going to go to a commercial break. When we get back, we'll see how Joe's doing.
That's good.
Here, yeah. Good work, Joe.
Nice.
Good work.
I'm doing it with the cord in the way.
With the cord in the way. We'll be right back after this. Much more happening here on the Mountain Morning Show.